So let's talk about the Astros closer because we got a confirmation this week. We had a discussion before the season or before the preseason about how, hey, you don't pay a reliever $95 million to be the setup guy. We got confirmation from Joe Espada and Josh Hader that Josh Hader will be the closer for the Astros this year. And Charlie, in the first part, you talked about how JV was a great conversationalist. Can I submit new skipper Joe Espada also falls in that category with a refreshing level of candor, especially compared to the last skipper, who I think would have been more secretive about this news and would have acted like this was some sort of CIA secret about who was going to be the closer and when they were going to use them. We got confirmation. What did you think about that announcement? And also, just what are your general thoughts on the transparency of Joe Espada as the Astros' new manager?
I think Espada's been tremendously impressive. I mean, look, they haven't faced live ammunition and all that yet, and haven't gone through any challenging times or had any internal matters that can test a manager a little bit. But I just think Espada brings a new energy to it, a forthrightness to it. At their pre-spring training media luncheon, the directness with which he said, we need to be a better base running team. And that goes from the top of our roster on through. And pitchers need to do a better job of holding base runners, give our catchers a better chance in dealing with the running game. I mean, clear areas of deficiency for the Astros that I have to say there was no emphasis on improving, given their results. As to Hader, you hit it. I mean, except for Edwin Diaz, you don't pay $95 million for a closer, much less for a setup man. Well, Hader coming, him being the primary closer, fait accompli. I mean, Ryan Presley's a made Astro for life and it's never blown a save in the postseason. But the reality is Hader was better than Ryan Presley last year. Given their ages, you'd expect Hader to be better than Presley this year. Hader won't get all the save opportunities. I don't think he's suddenly going to become a big 5-out closer, even though he has the 5-year contract. But Presley, if you want to call it, well, he'll get the save scraps. So be it. Presley's $14 million option for 2025 vests, as I think we covered here previously, after the Hader signing. It vests based upon appearances, not saves. So if you're Presley, on the one hand, I'm sure it's a little bit of an ego blow. Hey, I've done a pretty damn good job here. But it's not like they just brought in somebody to replace him. I mean, Hader was a 1.23, 1.28 earned run average in the peripherals and all that. And it's not jeopardizing Presley's money. All 7 of the last 7 full-length seasons, Presley's made at least 50 appearances. He made 65 last year, so that a bulk of them will come in the 8th inning now as opposed to the 9th inning. He'll get his work. There are plenty of games, frankly, where you can say the 8th inning is the real save situation. If the spot is going to adhere to Presley's my 8th inning guy, Hader's my 9th inning guy, and you're in a 3-2 game and the 2-3-4 hitters are coming up in the 8th inning, but Presley's coming in then. So it's not like he's going to become their middleman or mop-up guy. And then there's the component. While Hader's making $19 million this season and Press is making $14 million this year, I mean, would anyone say it's less than a 1-3 shot Brian Abreu doesn't outpitch both of them? While he makes $1.75 million as an uber elite 7th inning guy. And of course, these roles can change during the season. I noted in my sportsmap.com column this week that odds are pretty good that Hader works out for the Astros better than the last left-handed flame-throwing closer they added. The Wild Thing, Mitch Williams, who right after giving up that World Series ending home run to Joe Carter in 93, Phillies had to get rid of him. Astros traded for him, and Williams couldn't have been worse. Astros released him May 31st of that season with his ERA way over 7. I mean, Hader, there's no questions about between his ears or the health of his arm. The Astros re-strengthened a strength with Neris gone, Maton gone, even including Stanek gone. Hader won't make up all those innings, but the innings that he makes up, he certainly should be better than all 3 of those guys.
For sure. I like the way Hader handled it because he was asked a lot about what his role would be. And he just kind of deflected. Hey, I talked to Ryan Presley. We just want to win baseball games. Whatever they decide is fine with us. The workload stuff with Hader was kind of the big piece of news a couple weeks ago. about how he said he only wanted to work out of the closer's role in the ninth inning with his former team. And he said it was because of the system. I have the quote here. The arbitration system told me the traditional role of a closer is where the value is with relief pitchers. I was told to my face, what you're doing is not worth it. So him coming in the eighth and then pitching the ninth, he had done that in the past, but because of the arbitration process, he was like, I'm not going to waste my arm on this if it's going to cost me money in the long run. So I'll be curious to see if that's something where that continues with the Astros, where he's only pitching one inning at a time. But he did say, which made me happy, that in the postseason, it's all hands on deck. So he made the point that, if these are really important games, it's the postseason, then I'm going to do whatever my team asks of me. So I like what's going on with Hader. I like that Bregman and his wife met up with Hader and his wife, and Bregman's kind of taken a new leadership role, even in his last year, possibly on the team. I like seeing that. And then one more quick thing about the bullpen is Dana Brown spoke with the media this week, and he brought up Montero, and he said, who's going to be the guy besides the 7th, 8th inning and 9th inning guys. And he brought up Montero, and he said, Montero, he's legit. If he could emerge as our 6th inning guy, now you're talking 6, 7, 8, and 9 is really good. So it seems like Dana Brown saying Montero is legit. I mean, CRA was over 5 last year. In any kind of leverage situation, especially towards the end of the season, he really struggled. So I'm curious to see, because Dana Brown sees it that way, is that what Espada is going to do because that's what the boss man wants, or at least maybe he'll give him that early and let him prove Dana Brown right. But if he struggles, I'll be curious to see if Espada is his own man, and if Montero's not getting it done, then he's not going to be your 6th inning guy. But obviously it's all positive. It's spring training. We know relief pitchers from year to year, they have ups, they have downs. So I'm hoping Montero, this is one of those up years, and he gets back to being a guy that the Astros can count on, because they're certainly paying him a lot of money. You need to get something out of that.
Yeah, well, there are 23 million reasons why Dana Brown's deeming Montero legit. You're hoping like mad that he at least has a pretty healthy rebound, if not getting all the way back to 2022 Montero. And look, there's less pressure, less importance, I guess. Though, if you blow a lead that costs you the game in the 6th inning, it's just as damaging as if it happens in the 8th inning. But the 6th inning's a lower leverage spot, right? It's not thought of as critical as if you're working in the 8th inning. Montero's arm was at least generally sound, and you mentioned they're going to hope for that yo-yo year-to-year effect you see with so many relievers. And at this point, there's no other worthy candidate to be the number 4 guy in the bullpen. Bennett Sousa is going to be a situational lefty to come in and face 3 batters, or 1 if it's ending an inning. I think Dylan Coleman right now, who didn't do anything with the Royals, is probably better than 50-50 to make the bullpen. And I think unless Forrest Whitley is injured or a complete mess in the spring, there's another spot in the bullpen. And so I don't think any of those guys pass go, collect $200 and move ahead of Montero on the relief pitcher, the middleman totem pole. And another element, number one, you hope Montero's better for the sake of the 2024 Astros. Along with that, if he's better, maybe he can reinflate a little trade value alternative for you as the summer moves along. If you hit on 1 or 2 of the younger guys, or guys without any track record of performance at the major league level, at least Montero had that one big year. Well, if he's having a decent season come July and you can shed a chunk of that salary for 2025, that Kendall Graveman should be back at $8 million then as well. But Josh, as you know, it's spring training, a reason to be optimistic and see all the clouds as cumulus. Those are the good clouds, right? That the sky is bright and everyone's undefeated on, in back half of February and most of March.
I don't want to be that guy, but cirrus are the ones that you really like to see. They're the feathery ones that are highest in the cloud, which means it's usually a clear and sunny day. That's it for your nerd cloud talk.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
It's going to be another episode of Stone Cold Stros of the Book, the last bonus episode of the off season, because gents, we got some real baseball talk. The weekly episodes of, I got to stop doing that. It's a killer in post-production. Got to stop clapping. So next week, The weekly episodes resume. Stone Cold Stros season 2 will start. So again, like, make sure you're subscribed everywhere where you get the podcast. And if you're not, do it. Come along with the ride for us. We really appreciate it. We want all of you to join us. This season's got a special feel to it. So Charlie and Josh will catch you next week for season 2. Until next time, go Stros.